So that's how it sounds out of the car. But like I said, I'm gonna go on camera and just learn both of them fully, and then see which one I prefer. Because ultimately, you only need one of them. Even though it's kind of like a pack thing. Do you need both cars? Probably not. But anyways, we'll stay tuned and see which one I prefer. What up, YouTube? Does LeMans Ultimate even need an LMP3 car? And how does this new twin turbo V6 compare? How strong is it? How efficient is it? Stay tuned. We're going to answer that question. I just got him on LMU, gave him a drive, so stay tuned. I'm going to get around to filling the grid. I actually want to do some online races with what's available before I buy any more. Um, but I do one weak point that I would say LMU has right now is they don't have a lower tier of cars to kind of open up and start racing with. So they do have now they have the LMP3s. So they have a couple LMP3s, the Ligier, which is right here, and they have the Ginetta in pack 2, which is right here. Oh, that's the Ligier. Let's find the Ginetta. And there's the Ginetta. So we're gonna pick them up and check out the pack, and then kind of go from there. Um, so while this is updating, I will see you guys in a minute. All right, guys. One of the weaker points, in my opinion, with LeMans Ultimate versus iRacing is there isn't really as good of a ladder climb because it's based on the top version of this type of series. So there isn't a lot of support series on here. Recently, they added the European LeMans Series. Even though it's still GT3, like WEC is, they for WEC, they dropped LMP2, and so the biggest difference is now in the European LeMans Series they got P2, the unrestricted LMP2 at that, and P3, as well as GT3. Of course, I would prefer to see them have GT4, but I get it. Everybody wants to do GT3. Everybody wants to do GT3. So of course, I went ahead and got the 2 packs, and one of them is actually Paul Ricard. And it's been a while since I drove on Paul Ricard, but you have unrestricted Orica LMP2 cars, and you have 2 LMP3s, both of them rocking the Toyota V6, which I believe is in the Tundra, and probably, well, maybe the newest Tacoma. I'll find out. But we got the Ligier and the Ginetta, which is, I'm probably partial to Ligier just because I like the LMP2 and Automobilista 2. But Ginetta is actually an AMS2 as well, though it's the LMP. It's not an LMP3 car. It's actually called the G60. I'll add an image of that right here. But anyways, sure, let's go ahead and hop on track. And let me see what GT3s they got. Oh, yeah. Oh, because I didn't buy the European LeMans Series because I didn't buy the GT3 cars. Even though I bought the European LeMans Series pack, I didn't buy the GT3 cars in some of the new packs. But anyways, guys, we'll start with we'll go Ginetta because it's probably gonna be a little different. All right, Paul Ricard, Paul Ricard LMP3. Like I said, I don't know this track, so you guys gotta bear with me. Not necessarily trying to compare the cars. I just wanted to show for it now. Yeah, I haven't. I may have done a couple races on the Cold Masters games, but I haven't. It's been a while since I've done any real driving. One thing I do know about Paul Ricard is it has a ton of layouts. I believe these cars don't have, yeah, they don't have ABS. And they have this crazy long strip. I mean, I do hate that the V8 is. I do hate that the V8 is getting replaced or got replaced, and I hate that it's being replaced in both categories. But I did want to show Paul Ricard. And you know what? I am gonna see which one I like. I'll do my spot driving. This is left and right hand, so I'm assuming it's Ligier. But I mean, it feels punchy. Anyways, I realize I need to know where I'm going to push the car. So you guys get to see Paul Ricard. I'll go somewhere I know. And push it. Alright, Ginetta, LMP3, and Silverstone. I don't know Paul Ricard, but one thing I do like about the Ginetta over the Ligier is the wheel is on the left side, which doesn't matter after a couple laps, you'll get used to it. But I will say the Toyota torque is definitely better, which is like no shit, Captain Obvious, excuse my language, but I mean that's one of the things about switching from the V8 to a V6 is efficient, and it's gonna make the torque. Turbos. But anyways, Silverstone itself, not everybody I know enjoys Silverstone, which is crazy because I feel like they put on one of the better shows. If you're talking about the yearly race at F1, it's always wet there. what I liked about it the most is that there is normally more than one racing line, so that gives plenty of time for passing. Said I know something. But anyways, plenty of passing lines, and it rains there a lot. So I've always been a big Silverstone fan. As for the car, exact same steering wheel as the Ligier. I think these have steel brakes to save money compared to the LMP2. So there are a couple of differences. Obviously, the biggest one is LMP2 cars are V8s and a lot closer to hypercars than these are. Like I said, originally I hated these because I always felt like they were in the way of these cars, at least in Ginetta. But being a support series and not sharing the track at the same time, probably the best thing they could have done. I'm not a big European LeMans Series guy, so I can't speak on that. But the car itself drives great. Torque got me. Anyways, I'm gonna go off camera, do some driving with both of them. The engine sounds decent though. I'll give it credit. It sounds better than I thought. Of course, not as good as the V8, but it sounds fine. Let's check the outcar replay. I do wish that the V8 LMP3 was a bit longer.
21.51.
Because the V8 car probably easier to drive, even though naturally aspirated engines, like I said, I've grown to appreciate them a lot more since I started actually sim racing. So GT, F1, even in prototype category, like a nice, consistent power band is good. While ultimately a turbocharged car would be more effective and more efficient. There's just something special about a car that doesn't need turbos. The engine is going to feel the same at every point in its lap. Let's check the replay. Alright guys, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Apex Vision TV. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I guess the first thing I'll say, the cars themselves are awesome. I lean more towards the Ginetta than the Ligier, but they are pretty close, The Ginetta, I think the steering wheel is on the right side for me, so naturally when I'm driving it, I'm kind of able to gauge a little better. While the Ligier, I was hitting some curves because I was more to the right than I realized. But overall, both cars are great. I will say I don't think you need to um, buy. You don't have to buy both of them, but um, you know, that's kind of the fun of it, right? That's kind of what one of the things I like to do is compare cars and see how they stack up to each other. Um, but I guess the first thing we'll talk about is the engine. So, as you may or may not know, but the older LMP3 um, had a 5-liter V8, 5.6-liter V8 from Nissan. They switched for 2025 and going forward to a Toyota 3.5-liter engine. Now, naturally, naturally, people were upset about that. The old LMP3 sounded great, um, and even like the drivability of a naturally aspirated V8. Um, it's really just tough to beat if you want to talk about like drivability. And I've grown to appreciate NA cars again, especially once you turn down the assist, which is the way to go fast in my opinion. So like it's just one of those things. But if we're being realistic about prototypes in particular, the majority of them are turbocharged. So it's like I get it. The only turbocharged the only turbocharged GTP cars are the only naturally aspirated hypercars are the Aston Martin Valkyrie and the Cadillac GTP car. So turbos aren't going anywhere. They're here to stay. They aren't the future. They are the now. And I hate to rip the Band-Aid off, but you gotta get over that. So the new engine is 3.5 liters, twin turbo V6. Like I said, came out of the Lexus LS, while the old V8 was actually out of the Nissan Titan. And the way LMU is set up, you don't necessarily well, it's a seasonal game, kind of in the same way ACC was. So 2025 season was the start of them getting the European LeMans Series spec. Selfishly, I do wish that they would throw back some content, right? Like the V8 versus the V6, it's just 1 year apart. They're extremely close together. And the NA engine is probably cheaper over the course of the season. But, it is what it is. I also did some research on how much these cost compared to the LMP2s. And it actually is half the cost of the V2, which is pretty crazy to think about because they don't look that different. But, you gotta think steel versus carbon fiber and the electronic system and even the engine, even though it's naturally aspirated in the P2 car, it's more exotic. And while it's on my mind, not next year, but I think 27, they're supposed to be switching to the GTR twin turbo V6, so that'll actually be pretty dope. Gonna miss the Gibson V8 sound. Like I said, I heard that when I went to the Daytona 24-hour. But it is what it is. Turbos are the direction that racing is going, especially with efficiency being such a big thing. But anyways, overall, I would definitely say both cars are excellent, and there is much more drivability to it compared to the LMP2s and definitely the hypercars. So if you really wanna progress like you should, this isn't iRacing, so you can't race an MX-5 Cup car, but and there isn't GT4 in the European LeMans Series. I just looked, so realistically, GT3, if that's what you're into, and you have no interest in Prototypes, fine, sure. I think GT4 would be nice, but if you're like me and you love the prototype stuff, then realistically you should spend some time with these LMP3 cars and look at what the top skilled people are doing and see how close you can get to that and just try to get consistent. Braking is easier than the LMP2, and you don't have to manage any hybrid stuff like you do with the LMH. There's a four-wheel drive like the LMHs, so it's definitely a nice addition. Um, Easy to drive, hard to master, but the cars weren't super expensive, and it came with tracks as well. So I wonder what if they're gonna do a third pack, but if they're not, then we'll see. Cause I actually want to get Coda, and I want to get the Orica cars. So like, or not the Orica cars, but the Alpine, which is the Orica chassis. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I got my online profile all set up. I know they got all of these medals and all of that stuff. Like I said, I plan on entering into some longer stuff with Matt, and then we'll see if I can convince Josh, George, a different Matt to think about doing endurance stuff with me. But for now, I just looked, and they have Spa, 6 hours. They have 25-minute races, 35-minute races. So there's gonna be plenty to do. But see you guys next time, man. Hope you enjoy the video. Apex Vision out.